Most NP practice owners think they won the tax game once they become an S-Corp. That's exactly where they start losing money. I've helped practice owners legally save thousands of dollars, and I repeatedly saw the same expensive mistake after S-Corp election. Today I'll explain what the mistake is, why it happens, and the simple changes that can help ensure that your S-Corp delivers the tax savings it was meant to. Let's dive in. You're an NP practice owner and you just started your S-Corp and you're wondering whether it was a good decision. Here's when an S-Corp works. Before I tell my clients to become an S-Corp, I meet with them to tell them the pros and cons of having an S-Corp. And one thing that I tell them is to decide if they have enough income to become an S-Corp. Proper income would be, I would say, at least $50,000. Here's why. Because when you become an S-Corp, you have to pay yourself a reasonable salary. And that reasonable salary is based on a variety of figures when it comes to paying yourself. And if you aren't making enough income, with addition to paying yourself and any other expenses, it just doesn't make sense to become an S-Corp. I know everyone online is telling you to become an S-Corp, but before you do that, make sure you meet with your CPA or your bookkeeper or your tax preparer to make sure you make enough income to pay yourself a salary and to cover all your other expenses for your business. Once you are making enough income to pay yourself and to cover all your expenses, you need to apply for the S-Corp election. An S-Corporation doesn't become an S-Corp just by saying you want to start a business. You must fill out Form 2553. It's a form you complete and you send to the IRS, and then the IRS has to approve your S-Corp status. Once you get approval from the IRS, you'll receive a letter in the mail saying your business has been elected an S-Corp and approved starting on a certain day. The next thing that I recommend doing is getting an accountable plan. An accountable plan basically allows you as the employee to reimburse yourself. Although you own the business, you must see yourself as an employee of the business. Therefore, if you buy anything on behalf of the business with your personal credit card or debit card, what the accountable plan allows you to do is to get reimbursed for those purchases. And then the business can deduct that reimbursement, and you won't report that as income on your W-2 employee wages. If you don't have an accountable plan and you're paying for business items on behalf of the business and you reimburse yourself, the reimbursement from the business perspective can't deduct that, can't write it off, that is, and you will have to report that reimbursement as income on your W-2 wages. That's why it's important to understand what an accountable plan is and implement one in your business day one. Now you have enough income, you've been elected as an S-Corporation, approved by the IRS, that is, you have your accountable plan in place. You must also file a business tax return with the IRS and possibly with the state, depends on what state you're in. Yes, you must file a tax return because with an S-Corporation, it's its own entity, meaning it's its own individual, it's its own person. So the S-Corporation must file a tax return, and that income will flow from the business to you as the employee/owner. You report that income from the business on your personal tax return, Form 1040, when you file your taxes for the year. So although the business doesn't pay taxes, the owner/employee does. But make sure you file your taxes on a federal level and then check with your CPA, bookkeeper, or tax preparer to see if you need to file taxes in your state as well. Now here is where people go wrong with an S-Corp. They don't have enough income. People tell them to go get an S-Corporation, and then they're like, well, I don't make enough to pay myself, so I shouldn't become an employee of the business. Or wrong answer. I'll address that issue later, but you basically need to become an employee of the business and pay your expenses. I recommend if you don't have enough income to pay yourself, don't become an S-Corp. Remain a single member LLC, remain a sole proprietorship, and keep making money. Keep earning enough, and once you hit that threshold, $50,000 or more, at that point you should consider becoming an S-Corporation. I've also seen when clients thought they became an S-Corp and they start filing an S-Corp return. And when they do that, it gets rejected. Here's why. Because they didn't go through the proper channels of getting the S-Corp approved by the IRS. They thought they did, but it didn't, and it causes trouble. Then the person has to basically go and file their return. If they have a single member LLC, they got to file a personal return and also report their income on Schedule C of the 1040, the personal return. So it just creates a mess. So don't try to become an S-Corp without getting approved. Make sure you get a letter from the IRS approving you as an S-Corporation, your business as an S-Corporation. Not having an accountable plan. By not having an accountable plan, it can cause you to pay more in taxes because, again, if you don't have one, you're buying things on behalf of the business and you're reimbursing yourself, those reimbursements will become income to you. So don't do that. Not filing your taxes. If you are an S-Corp, you must file your business taxes and personal taxes because with the business taxes, they're due before personal taxes. For the S-Corp return, taxes are usually due on March 15th, unless it's some kind of holiday, but March 15th is when they're due. For your personal taxes, they're mostly due on April 15th, unless there's some kind of holiday. But you need to report the business income on the business income on a personal tax return. Otherwise, you'll probably pay penalties and interest on both personal and business. And then you may even get audited. So make sure you are following these steps to make sure your S-Corp is set up properly. And here is the biggest mistake, in my opinion, that I see people who have an S-Corporation do. They don't become an employee of the business. If they were a single member LLC, then they become an S-Corp. They don't realize that they need to become an employee and pay themselves a reasonable salary. The reason why is because the IRS wants to get compensation from you as an employee of the business. Because if you don't, you can basically take money out of your business and not pay tax on it. The IRS wants you to pay taxes. And one way to do that is for you to become an employee of the business and get withholdings from your wages and pay into the system, the IRS. And people don't do that. When you have an S-Corp and you are not an employee taking money out of the business, you're essentially taking an asset out of the business, and it can basically pay taxes on it and pay capital gains tax on it. Because again, the IRS is going to get their income, their payments from you regardless. Either you become an employee of the business and then you pay taxes through withholdings, or if you don't, they get basically when you take the money out and you pay capital gains if you take out a certain amount, and that amount is above what they call basis. If basis is exceeded, you take out more than you put into the business, I've had earned, then that additional money to come out of the business, the asset would become capital gains, and you pay tax on that when you file your personal taxes. Also, if the IRS finds out that you are not an employee of the business, you're taking money out of the business, they could possibly reclassify, that means change, those withdrawals, distributions from the business as wages to you, and you probably pay penalties and interest for not withholding taxes and submitting them to the IRS. So this is a big mistake. Make sure that you are an employee of the business, pay yourself a reasonable salary, and if you need to, do quarterly estimates. If you don't think that you're withholding enough tax from your wages as an employee, you can also do quarterly estimates, which is basically estimating how much you will owe tax on your income from the business, and do it every quarter so that you can make sure you're withholding enough tax via quarterly estimates and from your W-2 wages. If you're making these mistakes, make sure you drop in the chat below mistakes, and I'll help you by sending you information on how to prevent these mistakes when it comes to your S-Corp from happening. If you want to continue to receive value, stay connected to the channel, and I'll see you in the next video.